Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Coach the Coach Radio. Brought to you by the Business RadioX Ambassador Program, the no-cost business development strategy for coaches who want to spend more time serving local business clients and less time selling them. Go to brxambassador.com to learn more. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Coach the Coach Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today we have with us Alan Faingold with Customer Loyalty Concepts Coaching. Welcome, Alan.
Hello, Lee. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Customer Loyalty Concept Coaching. How are you serving folks?
We serve folks by letting them know that loyal customers are the diamonds of their business. I think that every organization would like to have more customers and not less.
I agree with that 100%. That seems like common sense there.
It's very common sense, Lee, but in our environment right now, particularly with what we've been through with COVID-19 and the social crisis that many organizations are facing, people sometimes do not know how to value customers, and that's what our business addresses.
So now when you're working with your clients, is this something that they are losing customers and they're like, I got to call Alan and his team, or is it something that they're doing pretty well and they're like, okay, let's get this to the next level?
Well, I think that it can be either one. A very interesting statistic before we had the pandemic, and I was in the restaurant industry for quite a long time. That's most of my background. There was a big increase in sales in 2020 going on, and customer counts were down 2 to 3%. So that is not a recipe for success. Team members need to really understand how to engage customers correctly to make sure that they're loyal. And I think that it's a benefit for organizations to know when their customers are loyal.
Well, let's kind of define some terms, because I think customer can mean different things to different people. Like as a business owner, I can make an argument that your employees are one of your customers.
They certainly are. They're your internal customers, and they need to be treated very well and taken care of very well also. And part of that is training your team members to make sure that they're doing the right thing to take care of your external customers.
So now you mentioned that earlier in your career, you worked in the restaurant business. How much of the restaurant business kind of translates to other businesses, whether it's professional services, manufacturing, or any other kind of industry?
I think that the restaurant business is the ultimate people business in many ways. People are at the core of every organization, whether they work for the organization or whether they are coming in to be customers of the organization. You're a customer, Lee. I'm a customer. Everybody is a customer in the whole entire world. At some point in time, we're going to go make a purchase, and we expect for that purchase to have the value that we want. And I don't think that a mediocre purchase is going to bring me back. How about you?
Right. Well, I mean, you have to deliver value, number one, but you also have to, I think, give a little bit extra nowadays, because value is almost like table stakes today's world.
Yes, I agree with that. It's interesting to note that 75% of customers in the world switched brands during the pandemic. Now, some of that, of course, was forced because of the online buying craze and necessity. But again, the economy is, we have some pent-up demand out there. So when we go out to a restaurant, if they don't take great care of us, is that going to make us feel great? Or if we go out to even at a hospital and the caregivers don't take good care of us, is that going to make us feel real good about what's going on in our world?
Now, in your business right now, is your primary work coaching individually, or do you do coaching online, or do you have a different way of delivering the service?
I coach online over Zoom, and I also have a website that has customer experience education classes on it. One of the problems that I identified when I was in the restaurant industry is that many people that come to work for us have never had any customer service experience. And because of the demands of the economy, we hire people that are either right out of high school or it's their first job. And the first customer problem they have, they are just overwhelmed. So I have a EDD and created myself some customer education courses, and they are online at the website for people that don't have any experience, or even people that do have experience, to know how to behave and communicate and resolve conflict with customers that can be taken on demand. And it's just a passion that I've always had, is to help the newest people to take care of guests, because they've never done that in their life before in many situations.
Now, earlier you used the phrase customer experience. How does customer experience differ from customer service?
The customer experience is the holistic view of what happens when somebody comes in for any experience in any company. Is, I think that's the way to look at it. If I go into a retail store, and obviously staffing is a challenge, because sometimes people can't hire enough people, and sometimes they don't want to staff enough people because of labor guidelines or things like that. The holistic experience is, am I going to get somebody to help me, or am I not going to get somebody to help me? Do I need to go looking on my own? In the restaurant world, a holistic experience starts when you pull up to a restaurant in your car. Do you have a clean parking lot? Do you get a great greeting? Is somebody going to take great care of you? And do you leave feeling like, wow, I have to go back there again? So that's an experience. Customer service is probably, in my estimation, the act of taking care of people. And if I was to serve someone correctly, I need to treat them with care and respect, fairness, grace, and integrity, which are the values that we have in our company.
Now, when a typical customer of yours or a client of yours is kind of thinking about their customer experience, customer loyalty, customer service strategy, is this kind of the first time they've looked at it this way? Or they, like, everybody wants more customers. Everybody thinks they have a service that customers should want, at least, but they may not strategically attack all of that nuance that you mentioned earlier. Is that something where your firm can really help them widen maybe the perspective of how to serve a client?
Yes, I think it can. And here's the reason that I truly believe this would help. Anybody who owns a large corporation and they have several locations depends on their management teams to uphold their values and their culture. And the experience that I had when a manager came up to me and said, I really hate our guests right now, just really stuck in my craw to say, okay, we have this culture and values and mission statement and all of these things that our company believes in. And now we get into the management ranks, and because of the frustration level or whatever is going on, is that something that you would say to a customer?
No, never.
No. But it rubs off on the staff, and those behaviors in combination with sometimes the lack of social skills from team members coming in the door it really affects customer service, and it has ramifications on the bottom line. So to answer that question thoroughly, we have developed some systems to where there's a personnel accountability worksheet that we share with our clients to help every single person in the company, if they want to, that has the core values, the purpose of the company, the promises, and a people development strategy and key performance indicators for everyone. So any team member in the whole entire organization can know if they're contributing, and they can measure how they're contributing, and then always be on that path to growth and making the business more profitable, which is in turn going to bring more loyal customers in. It's just understanding how to treat people the right way so that they become loyal to your business.
It sounds like to me what you're saying is that the customer loyalty concepts are not just tactics to increase customer loyalty, but it really has to permeate into the culture of the organization, that you can't kind of fake it till you make it. You really got to believe that your customer is important, and you can't dread them coming into the door. You got to be looking forward to them and appreciating them and loving on them if you want to have customer loyalty.
100% correctly. Customer loyalty is about the entire culture of the organization. When organizations make up their mission and values, those have to permeate all the way through the company. They have to shape the team members' performance. And the people who have to deliver that throughout the organization are the managers and the team leaders. And then, of course, the staff, the people that have direct contact with the customers. And if people are not trained on how to do that, then your customers are just not going to return to you. They're going to switch and go somewhere else where they're going to get treated the right way.
So now, is there any low-hanging fruit for folks that are listening right now? Is there anything they could be doing today that could increase their customer loyalty from the customers they have right now? Is there any kind of easy stuff, some baby steps that somebody could take right now?
Well, again, my website at customerloyaltypro.com, I have a customer loyalty series of classes that can be taken in 55 minutes and certificates printed for them. And it's just, in my opinion, it's a way to not only teach your team members and your managers about how to really treat people and how to treat customers the right way and gain some perspective on that, which a lot of organizations don't teach that. They just teach technical skills. So going to that website within an hour, there you can print the certificates, watch the courses, and then anybody can talk about it and reflect on it and hold people accountable for how to take care of a customer.
Now, let's talk for a minute on your book, We Are All Customers. Is that in the book, is that kind of give a person a kind of an idea of your philosophy when it comes to customer loyalty?
It certainly does. And the story about hating customers is in there. And then there are several other stories about customer service that have happened during my career. One of the stories that always seems to resonate for anyone, I think as people, we understand that people are not perfect. And I certainly don't expect people to be perfect. I don't think any of us do. But when it comes to correcting a problem, it takes some talent. And one of the stories in the book talks about how a manager didn't contact a customer, didn't say anything to a customer, write a letter or anything. They just sent a gift card. So is loyalty for sale? That's part of the premise of the book. I don't think that loyalty is for sale. I think it comes from a genuine interaction between people and reciprocal relationships and building those type of relationships that we'd all like to have in our society that every business should deliver.
Yeah, I think that a lot of organizations, in the trade-off for scale and service, they pick scale, and then they forget the human to human interaction that's so important when it comes with dealing with people. I mean, if you want people as your customer, then you got to treat them like people, not just like lines on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Exactly right.
So now, is your core client an enterprise level organization that has a team, or do you work with entrepreneurs and startups? Like, who is your ideal customer?
My ideal customer is in the hospitality retail industry. And again, they're hiring perhaps a lot of new people, or perhaps they have scaled too much and they need to get some of that human back in their human resources department. I also believe that the onboarding sector of the economy, no matter who that is, could use these courses to educate their teams when they're hired so that they understand the expectation for treating people like people. Humans buy from humans, if I recall that little line from long ago.
Now, in your work, do you have a story you can share? Don't name any names, but working with an organization that you helped kind of take them to a new level?
Absolutely. I can share a story from the last Great Recession that we had in 2008. Our organization backed off of everything, which would be the natural thing to do, reduced expenses, stopped marketing, etc. So we were left as restaurant teams to create our own marketing. And our guest counts throughout our market were down over 20% because of that recession. The guest counts at my restaurant were up over 17%. And we ended up having a regional meeting one day, and one of the general managers asked me, "Okay, Alan, what are you doing over there?" And my answer to him was, "We make our guests our friends, and they want to come back and see us." And it's a reciprocal relationship. That's how we need to treat people.
And if somebody wants to learn more, have a more substantive conversation with you or somebody on your team, maybe get a hold of those courses, your book, or schedule a call, what's the website one more time?
It is customerloyaltypro.com.
Well, Alan, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Lee. Well, appreciate you having me on the show.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Coach the Coach Radio.